Hi guys, it's Corinne, and today I wanted to share with you how you can put a photo behind letters. I have a tutorial showing how I use the Silhouette Designer edition to print all of my pictures. And the reason I choose to use the Silhouette Studio to do that is because I can get custom size photos printing at home from my computer. So here's two examples. I did an oval frame with a picture inside of it. And I also did a long rectangle frame with a picture inside of it. And I do have a tutorial showing how I do that. I will link it in the description box below if you're interested in seeing that. But what we're doing today is using the word love, and I'm putting photos in the word love. So I'll put a photo up on the screen so you can see what we're going to be doing. Okay, and let me just go ahead and delete these since we're done with these. And first thing I always do is I am using a photo, or I'm making a photo to go inside of my Smashbook. So I want to go over here to the right to the Page Tools window and select that. And if you select an 8.5 by 11, that shows you your mat with the size of paper that you're working with. Well, the size paper that I'm working with, again, is out of my Smashbook. So I'm going to put the sizes in here for the custom sizes right here to the width and height. And I know that the width is 6.5 and the height is 10. So now this shows me the size paper I'm working with, so I can design around it to what looks good. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw out a rectangle. So I'm going to go over here to the left and grab my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to grab a box and draw out a rectangle here. So I need to go back up here to the left and hit my select tool. That way it allows me to select this and work with it. And I'm just going to size this for what I think looks good. So I think I'll do about a 7 by about 3.8. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like that size. So again, this shows the size relative to the page that I'll be putting it on. Because I'm doing a scrapbook page in my Smashbook. So this gives me an idea of how it'll look. So now the next thing I want to do is write out the word love. So over here on the left, I want to grab my text tool and I want to write the word love. Okay, let me go ahead and select it and make it larger so it's a little bit easier to see. And what I want to do is double click it to get this green box around it. Once you have the green box around it, then you can highlight it by right-clicking and dragging along the letters. Once you see it's highlighted, you can come over here to the right to the text style window. You can choose any fonts that you have in here, and when you click on them, you will see over here they show you what it'll look like. Well, I know that one of my favorite fonts to use if I want a box letter is this Aroni. So right here I'm going to select that. Okay, and I like how that looks. But I don't want so much of a space in between the letters. So over here on the right, I'm going to go to my line space tool, and I'm going to decrease it. And you'll see if you watch the letters once I start decreasing it that they become closer together. So I want them almost touching. So right there at about 50% is good. Now what I want to do is click off of that, highlight the word, and I'm going to drag it over to my box over here. And I want to just drag it. You can size it if you know a size that you want. I'm just going to drag it right here in this diagonal box to see what looks good to me. So I want to almost fill up the box, or my rectangle I should say. And I'm also going to drag it sideways to make the letters a little bit wider. So I'm happy how that looks. I do want to move it up so it looks a little more centered inside the box. And I'm highlighting it and using my arrow keys to move it a space or two over. I can also drag it, but it's a little bit more accurate if I want to go slower by using my arrow key. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now what I want to do is highlight the entire word love. I want to go up here to the line color window, select that. Now the default line color is red, as you can see here. So I want to go over here and select black because I plan on printing that out. So as you can see, once I selected black, it turns it black around the letters, but I want it a little bit thicker. I want it to be a little bit more noticeable. So I'm going to open the line style window right next to it, and I'm going to choose line thickness. And I'm just going to use my arrow key here and go to what looks right to me. I like that. That's at 1.5. And now what I want to do is right here at the bottom, still under that same line style window, I want to select print lines of selected shapes. What that will do is print this out. So when I send it to my printer, you'll see this black line around the letters. Now, if I was going to use the registration mark and have the silhouette cut it out, then I need to go up to my cut style window, select that, and so with the word love highlighted, I want to select no cut. That way, if I'm sending it through my silhouette, it will not cut out the letters L-O-V-E. However, you can see the rectangle on the outside will still cut. Okay, so let me go back up here and grab my editing window. And I want to do the same thing with the outside box, the rectangle. I want to select that and go up here to the line color window, and I want to change that to black because I am going to print that out as well. Okay, so I selected black. Again, it's not as dark as I would like. So I will go to the line style window, which is right next to it, and under line thickness, I will thicken that up till I'm happy with that. So I like that. That's at 3. I need to go down here and select print lines of selected shape. Again, that way it'll print that out. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is add my photos behind the words. So I'm going to select the word love, and at this point I want to ungroup it. So I'm going down here to the left and ungroup selected shapes. You can also right click and do that as well. Okay, so now you can see they're all ungrouped. I'm going to select one letter at a time. So I'm going to select the L. I'm going up to the File folder up here on the left. I'm going to select File and select Merge. Okay, now I want to select Libraries and my photos or pictures. Now I want to go here to the Files of Type, click on the drop down menu, and select All Files. That way it'll show me all of my files that I have here. So I know which photo I want to use. I'm going to select that. Here's the photo I want to use. So I'm going to right click and drag it into the letter L. So I'm just dragging that here and putting it in the letter L. I'm doing that with all the letters. Now, if you find that when you're dragging it, it goes to the entire screen like this, you want to just keep moving your arrow to the letter E and it'll place it in there. Okay, so now right here I'm going to hit cancel to get rid of this box, to close that box out. And now what I want to do is move around my photos. Okay, so with the letter L still highlighted, I will choose my fill pattern window up here at the top. And at the bottom here, I'm going to choose advanced options. Under the advanced options, you have scale pattern. or pan pattern. So I'm going to, for right now, choose the pan pattern, highlight that, and as you can see, there's a little circle here with a little cross in it. You want to grab that, and there's a little cross that when I move my arrow down right here, you'll see the arrow, but as I drag it up to it, you'll all of a sudden see it grab that. That's grabbing that tool. So now I can right click on it and move around my photo to where I'm happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That way our faces are more centered. Now the O, I'm going to do the same thing. And also let me go back up here to the L and highlight the L. I want to show you that over here on the right, you can choose scale pattern. So when I move this up from 100%, if you watch the L right here, it will make the picture bigger. And so if you prefer to have it bigger, I'm going to leave it at 100%. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the O. Over here, select the pan pattern again. And grab that tool in the middle and move that around to where I'm happy with it. Okay, same with the V. I'm going to highlight it, select pan pattern, and move that down so you can see a little bit more. And the E I'm happy with. So now I'm happy with how the letters are sitting inside of the rectangle, and I have them with black lines around them. So what I'm going to do is drag a box around all of them. That way I'm selecting them. Now I'm going down here to the group selected shapes, and I've just grouped everything together. That way I can move it around and not worry about it. Now what I like to do is go back up here to my page tools window and go back to choose letter size 8.5 by 11. And the reason I'm doing that is because the paper that I'm printing out on, the photo paper I'm printing out on, is 8.5 by 11. That way I can move this around to where I want this printed on my photo paper. So I'm happy with it there. Then the next thing I want to do is send it to my printer, this button up here on the top left. So I would select that. You can choose your preferences, change anything you need to on your printer. So I'm going to select preferences, and I'm selecting media type. I have it defaulted to plain paper. I want to change that to photo paper. And I'm just using a glossy photo paper, so I will select glossy photo paper. And my paper size is 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to leave that the same. I'm going to select OK, and then I will select the print button. So at this point, I will hit print, and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like when it's done. So here's what it looks like once it's printed out. And I just cut it out with my paper trimmer. I left a little white border, that way the black line showed up nicely. And I just used glossy photo paper. Here is another one that I've done. And as you can see, I did not do the black line on the outside. Obviously the words I did differently. And I did not do the black line outside of the letters, which I really like that much better. But you can do this anyway. I've also done it, which I will have in another video at some point. I used the number 13, and I put my son's birthday pictures from his 13th birthday in it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it gave you some ideas, and thank you so much for watching.